What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Masthead Brewing Company, and they're out of Cleveland, Ohio, and this is their Coffee Underverse, the Rye Whiskey Barrel Aged variant, and this is the 2024 release. So this is a Rye Whiskey Barrel Aged Imperial Stout with coffee. It comes in at 13.6% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed. Time of review. This can is exactly 1 year old, and I picked this one up at Red Wine and Brew in Mentor, Ohio. So huge shout out to them for always stocking Masthead beers. I love Red Wine and Brew. Anytime I go down to Cleveland or around the Cleveland area, I always check out the Mentor, Ohio location. I think they have 3 different locations, but I always go to the Mentor one because coming down from Buffalo, it's right on the way. And I always look for 2 specific things when I hit up Red Wine and Brew: barrel-aged goodness from Jackie O's, and then anything from Masthead. And then anything I get after that is just a plus, but I always look for those 2 things. And I went there last fall. I also was there earlier this year, but last fall I was there and I picked a couple cans of this up. And one of them I gave to a very good friend of mine, a fellow beer tuber, Kyle over at No Hype Beer Reviews, and he reviewed this one a couple months ago. So up in the top right-hand corner of this video, I'll post a link to his review if you want to go check it out. It's going to be a lot quicker than mine. I think it was like a 5 or 6 minute review on his channel, but he's more concise. I like to ramble. It is what it is. But he really dug this one. And again, this is a bit older, obviously a year old, and when he drank it, it was about 9 to 10 months old. But Masthead makes awesome beer. So I'm not surprised. It says on the side of the label here, somewhere in the blackness of space, there lies another verse, the Underverse. Upon crossing this threshold, one returns changed. Some call it enlightenment, while others call it Nirvana. Our Coffee Underverse Rye Whiskey Barrel Aged Imperial Stout has returned from this journey transformed. During its time in rye whiskey barrels, this Imperial Stout mingled with locally roasted coffee beans from 6-shooter coffee, imbuing it with a depth of flavor and complexity not attainable on its own, and 6-shooter coffee is in the Cleveland area. So yeah, I'm expecting this to be quite good. Now, it is a year old and it was brewed with coffee, so hopefully the coffee held up. I know Kyle definitely said the coffee was there. It didn't turn into some like cream. Oh, it's gushing out a little bit. Didn't turn into some green pepper grossness, so that is good. I'll probably pour about half of this in, I'd say, something like this. Oh, I'm getting a big head. Now see, now, I kept this in my darker beer fridge. Maybe I should have kept this in the regular fridge. That first little cheat, little bit green pepper from the coffee. And again, he drank his back in, we'll say early May. I'm drinking this one in the middle of July. In fact, I'm drinking this one on July 19th of 2025. This was canned on July 19th of 2024. Anyway, how does this beer look? Absolutely fucking fantastic. Look at that. That's a beautiful looking beer in the glass. As you can see, it has a tail of 2 different colors from the head. Let's see if we can change that, or if anything will by swirling up. But no, see, as it gets higher on the head, it's more lighter, and it almost has like a cascading effect. Not really, though. But yeah, the head is like a straight up brown color. The body itself is pitch black when I was pouring it out. It has a little bit of alcohol legs on it, but not crazy. It looks really nice in the glass. Let's just say that. It looks beautiful. Let's get a nose. So a little bit of that green pepper, almost jalapeno-esque. So a lot of times when coffee is aged and starts turning, I usually get like a bell pepper, a green pepper, but sometimes I can get a little bit of jalapeno. That's here, but it's not too big. And also a little spiciness from the rye. That's one thing that I don't think Kyle picked up on as much, was the rye whiskey, but I'm getting a little bit more here in the nose. Lots of barrel character here. There's vanilla. There's actual like whiskey spirit character. Has like a sweetness, little peppery kind of vibe to it. But in conjunction, like it's more like a black peppery vibe, like black pepper, as opposed to an actual like bell or jalapeno pepper. Nice underlying roasted malt, like a deeply roasted malt. Dark chocolate coffee for sure. Ooh. Big blast of vanilla as I swirled that up. Wow. This is definitely mellowed out. We'll say that. I didn't drink this fresh, but this is not as intense as I would anticipate if I was drinking this one, say, a week old or a month old. This has more of a cohesive, intertwining kind of like nice medley of different aromatics, but none of them are too big, and they're all kind of blending together. Some caramel for sure. Slight touch, and I don't say this a lot, black licorice, very slight, like black licorice. Anise kind of vibe. I will say this, it smells really good, but it doesn't smell upper echelon. And I've had some really upper echelon beers from Masthead, a lot of their barrel aged stuff. This is just really, really good smelling, but not amazing. I'll leave it at that. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Oh. That's delicious. Holy shit. I'm saying all these things in the nose and then, no. Dare I say this is one of the smoothest, almost 14% beers I've had in a long time. Like, if I was doing this blind, I don't know if I'd say 14%. Or 13.6? No. And the beauty, the coffee is not green pepper in the taste. The nose was definitely giving me that, bell pepper, jalapeno in the taste. Definitely not. One thing I remember from that Kyle review, I think he said the body wasn't super thick. It was a little bit lighter, and he said, I might enjoy that. And he's right. This is like lighter side of full to medium full. And some people might not like that. They want it thick and syrupy and over the top. For me, I don't need it. It's nice when it happens, especially if it's a beer, as far as the characters go, makes sense if this is like super syrupy and thick and like just luscious and just like a thick boy, right? This isn't that, but I can't say this is thin, but it's a little bit lighter than maybe you would think for something approaching 14%. It makes it infinitely more drinkable. The mouthfeel, it's mild to moderately carbonated, smack dab in the middle, maybe slightly approaching moderate, but it's smooth on the palate, has a creaminess to it. It's a joy to drink. This is a very easy drinking, almost 14% Rye Whiskey Barrel Aged Imperial Stout with coffee, which is crazy to say, but it's the truth. The taste, there's a lot of complexity here that I wasn't picking up on in the nose that is really winning me over. First thing that hits me is rare with these barrel aged beers is a big roasted malt character. It has a nice roasted malt character to it. But then there's a lot of like sweeter dark chocolate. The coffee's there. It's like a medium roasted coffee. And I don't know if Kyle spoke to the coffee as much as I thought he would, because he is like a coffee guy. He drinks a lot of coffee. He likes getting his hands on different kinds of coffee. He's done a bunch of coffee reviews on his channel. For me, I'm not a coffee guy. I like coffee, but I don't get nerdy about it like I do with beer, which nothing wrong with that. I almost sometimes wish I would get into coffee like that. But I can understand they're using a pretty quality coffee here. And it's like more of a medium roasted coffee. And it has almost like a fruitiness to it. And I think it's coming from the coffee more so than the base beer, but I don't know. But it has like a little bit of like this berry, like kind of stone fruit thing going on, which I could just be talking my ass. That's my channel as a whole, the Beer PaTroll, talking out of his ass since 2018. Like that's what this is. But it does have a little bit of fruitiness, whether it's coming from the coffee or the base beer. Like, it's nice. A little bit of that caramel I was talking about, touch of brown sugar. About halfway, 2/3 way through the palate, I get a black licorice that I was getting in the nose. It's about as prominent as it was in the nose. It's not bad too, but if you don't like black licorice, you might hear me say that and be like, oh, that doesn't sound like me. I don't know if you pick up on it. If you did, you might not dig it, but like I'm picking up on it and I dig it. And then the finish is it's the barrel to me. It's vanilla and oak. So the vanillins are here, right? It has definitely a vanillin character. The spirit isn't as pronounced as I thought, and I agree with Kyle in that I'm not getting a ton of spiciness that would make me think rye whiskey, but I do get a little bit, just maybe a smidge of it that I know because it is a rye whiskey barrel aged. But doing it blind, I wouldn't call out rye whiskey. I would probably just say bourbon barrel aged or just barrel aged generically. Finishes with a nice firm dryness, mild to moderate bitterness. Another positive is this one. I was like, the one positive is this one, like it's a bad beer. It's a great beer. It's fucking delicious. Another positive is that it hides the alcohol quite well, and it's very balanced. Like, it is sweet, it's rich, it's somewhat decadent, but it has enough dryness and enough bitterness to combat all that. There's a little bit of an oak tannin kind of finish that gives me a little bit bigger of a dry quality to it. I really like that vanillin finish. The spirit's here, but it's a little bit like covered up compared to the barrel itself. It's more barrel than spirit. Again, 13.6%, nice warming in my chest. Not a huge astringency on the palate. I would guess like 12, 12 and a half, maybe 13, but definitely not 14. As you can see, I'm drinking this quite easily. Look at the alcohol legs on there. You guys can see them. You see the line where it stops. Now you see my stupid face. But you can see the line where it stops about right here. I don't know if you can see it that well, but it definitely has like alcohol legs for sure. Not crazy, but it's there. This is tasty, and obviously, it's funny, in Kyle's review, he said the same thing. He's like, you know, I wanted to prepare when I drank this because it's a can and I can't cap it, so I got to drink the entire thing. And yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing today. I'm taking down a 13.6% Rye Whiskey Barrel Aged Imperial Stout with coffee. So this is going to take me a couple hours to consume fully, but I don't give a shit. Today is one of those days. I allocated the fucking immense calories for the... I just said, like, today is like 800 calories. I don't know if it's more than that. I don't know if it's less than that, but that's what I'm guessing. About 800 calories. Fucking delicious. It's another Masthead beer that is awesome. Is it my favorite Masthead beer? It is not. It's not. But the coffee's here. Not necessarily the rye whiskey, but let's just say whiskey is here. I mean, it's a year old. Getting the rye out of this one and even getting the coffee is hard pressed. But they've done the coffee well, and I would say it's more whiskey barrel aged. Listen, Masthead, to me, doesn't miss, at least from the stuff I've had. And I've reviewed and drank, what, 15, 20 beers from them? I can make this a 27-minute review. Let's see, how many beers according to Untappd that I have? And I don't always check in everything, but I check in most things. So let's see here. Masthead. I have had, from Masthead to date, before I check this in, I have had 11 different beers. So this will be the 12th beer I've had from them. And I can't think of a single bad beer I've had from them. Everything has been really good. One more sip, we'll lock in a rating. I pretty much know what I'm giving this, though. Kyle doesn't rate, so I can't really say, but I think I like it as much as he does, maybe slightly more. But this is delicious. So Coffee Underverse, the Rye Whiskey Barrel Aged variant, the 2024 release. Low 4.5, I'll go 4.45. I think that's a fair score for what is in my glass and what I'm describing today. It's delicious. It's another winner from Masthead, and it's a year old. The coffee's there. The rye whiskey isn't really there as far as the rye goes, but like whiskey, bourbon as a whole, yeah, it's there. And it's very tasty. I think that the crazy thing about this is how easy it is to drink. It's very smooth going down. It's a cohesive beer. The characteristics intertwine and make something really nice. So I'm impressed from that aspect. And it's not overly boozy. Nice warming in my chest, but not over the top. Price point availability, I paid $12.99 for the cans that I bought. I bought 2 cans, one for myself and one I gave to Kyle. So $13 for a 16 fluid ounce can of a beer that is 13.8% Asian rye whiskey barrels with coffee. I'm fine with that. That's less than $1 an ounce. Fine by me. And availability, I don't know how often they release this one. This is the 2024 release or vintage, whatever you want to call it. And if they release this again and you can get your hands on it, do so. It's a fun beer. It's a tasty beer, and I enjoy it. So Masthead, to me, is slowly becoming one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Ohio brewery. There's others that are in contention, but I've had now a dozen beers from them, and I can safely say that they don't miss for me. Maybe they miss in some other aspects, but for the most part, their beer is fucking fantastic, from their West Coast IPAs to even like I've had like a red ale from them, and then these big barrel aged, beers with adjuncts and whatnot. They just do a great job. So if I was in Cleveland, I'd be drinking their stuff way more than I do now. But anytime I'm in Mentor or in the Cleveland area, I pick up their beer because they're great. So if you've had this one before, please post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it. Like I said, not sickly sweet, not over the top. Yeah, it's rich, it's decadent, but it's not cloying, and there's a good balance. And you get pretty much a little bit of everything, and that's what I'm here for. So appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers.